Welcome to the Alternate History Channel, where we unravel the fabric of reality to weave tales of what might have been. Today we embark on an extraordinary journey, a voyage through time to a world where the thunderous hooves of the Mongol horde reshaped the destiny of an entire continent. Imagine a Europe not defined by its towering cathedrals and bustling marketplaces, but by the yurts of conquerors and the laws of the steppe. In this episode, we delve into the gripping saga of the Mongol Empire's successful invasion of Europe, exploring a cascade of events that could have dramatically altered the course of history as we know it. A world of combined cultures, altered beliefs, and technological marvels born from the fusion of East and West. Join us as we chart the course of an alternate Europe under the Mongol rule, examining the ripple effects that could have changed the face of the globe. Stay with us as we peel back the layers of history to reveal a story untold, asking the question, what if the Mongols had conquered Europe? Keep watching to uncover a past that never happened, but could have changed everything. In the vast expanse of the 13th century, the world witnessed the rise of an empire unparalleled in its reach and ferocity, the Mongol Empire. Under the iron leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, this nomadic powerhouse reshaped the map of Eurasia, casting a long shadow over the steppes of Asia, the sands of the Middle East, and the frontiers of Europe. Our story unfolds at this critical juncture of history, where the fate of continents was decided by the gallop of horsemen and the commands of their khans. The Mongol onslaught began in earnest under Genghis Khan, but it was his heirs who cast their eyes towards the rich and fragmented lands of Europe. By the 1240s, under the leadership of Batu Khan, grandson of Genghis, the Mongols launched a series of devastating raids into Eastern Europe. They crushed armies, leveled cities, and instilled fear across the lands. Yet as they stood on the precipice of further conquests, their advance halted. Historically, the death of Ögedei Khan, the great Khan of the Mongol Empire, called the commanders back to the Mongolian heartland to participate in the election of his successor, sparing Europe from further devastation. In our alternate timeline, however, history takes a divergent path. Imagine a world where the Mongols, fueled by ambition and an unquenchable thirst for expansion, did not retreat. Whether through a delay in the news of Ögedei's death, a swift and uncontested selection of a new great Khan, or simply the determination to secure their Western conquests before returning to their political duties, the Mongols press on. Europe, already weakened and divided by internal strife and the ongoing struggles between its kingdoms, finds itself unable to mount a unified defense against the Mongol tide. This is the moment of divergence, the pivotal turning point where the Mongol Empire, instead of receding, entrenches itself in the heart of Europe. With unparalleled military prowess, sophisticated tactics, and a system of administration that allowed them to govern vast territories, the Mongols establish a lasting presence in Europe. This key change in history sets the stage for a radically different world, one where the Mongol yoke shapes the development of European society, culture, and politics. In the wake of the Mongol Empire's relentless expansion into Europe, the continent found itself at the dawn of a new era, one marked by upheaval, transformation, and the forging of unlikely alliances. The immediate aftermath of the Mongol conquest brought with it a series of dramatic shifts that would forever alter the European landscape. The political fabric of Europe, once a tapestry of feuding kingdoms and principalities, lay in disarray under the weight of the Mongol yoke. Traditional power centers were dismantled with astonishing speed, as the Mongols employed their tried and tested strategy of leveraging local rulers or replacing them with more compliant figures. European nobility, once the unchallenged masters of their domains, now found themselves vassals to a foreign power or fleeing for their lives. In some regions, the vacuum of power led to the rise of collaborative governance models, blending Mongol administrative efficiency with local customs in a bid to maintain some semblance of order amidst the chaos. Culturally, the impact was no less profound. The Mongols, despite their reputation for brutality, were also agents of cultural exchange. Their empire acted as a vast conduit for the flow of ideas, technologies, and traditions across its territories. Europe, now part of this network, saw the introduction of paper currency, advanced engineering techniques, and even gunpowder, years before they would have naturally permeated the continent. This period of enforced cosmopolitanism fostered a unique cultural synthesis, though not without resistance. The fabric of European identity began to evolve, incorporating elements of Eastern philosophy, art, and governance, even as segments of the population sought to preserve their traditional ways of life. Economically, the Mongol domination introduced a new order that was both exploitative and innovative. The imposition of the Mongol tribute system drained resources from the conquered territories, but it also facilitated the creation of new trade routes and the movement of goods on a scale previously unimaginable. European markets were flooded with silk, spices, and other luxuries from the East, while Mongol demand for European products, such as wool and metals, opened new opportunities for wealth creation among the merchant class. Society at large was forced to adapt to these rapid changes. The Mongol approach to religion, which was characterized by tolerance as long as it posed no threat to their rule, led to a relatively pluralistic society where Christian, Muslim, and other faiths coexisted with greater ease than before. However, this tolerance did not extend to rebellion or dissent, which was met with swift and ruthless suppression. The social hierarchy was also reshaped, the traditional European elite were diminished, and a new class of administrators and merchants rose to prominence, those who could navigate the complexities of Mongol governance and the burgeoning trade networks. The short-term impacts of the Mongol conquest of Europe were both devastating and transformative. As the dust settled, it became clear that the continent would never return to its pre-invasion state. Europe had been irrevocably changed, setting the stage for a future where its destiny was intertwined with that of the Mongol Empire. In this new world, the survivors of the conquest and their descendants would have to navigate a complex tapestry of cultural, economic, and political influences, laying the groundwork for a profoundly different course of history. As the decades turned into centuries following the Mongol conquest of Europe, the landscape of the continent, and indeed the world, underwent profound transformations. The Mongol Empire, having established a lasting dominion over Europe, sowed the seeds for a future that diverged starkly from the history we know. This new world, born out of the union of Mongolian innovation and European tradition, was a crucible of change, affecting global dynamics, technological advancements, and cultural shifts in ways previously unimaginable. The Mongol presence in Europe acted as a catalyst for an unprecedented level of interconnectedness across continents. The Silk Road, under the firm control of the Mongols, flourished more than ever before, becoming a superhighway of cultural and economic exchange that linked the East and West. European states, now part of the vast Mongol Empire, found themselves directly connected to the technological and philosophical advancements of Asia. This exchange led to a renaissance of thought and invention in Europe, fueled not by the rediscovery of ancient texts, but by the infusion of new ideas from the East. The technological landscape of Europe was irrevocably altered. Mongolian military engineering, including the use of gunpowder, revolutionized European warfare much earlier than in our timeline. The adoption and adaptation of Asian innovations, such as printing technology and advanced agriculture techniques, accelerated the spread of knowledge and increased food production. This, in turn, led to a population increase and the growth of cities, fostering a vibrant urban culture that became the backbone of a new European society. Culturally, the Mongol rule introduced a level of tolerance and syncretism previously unseen in Europe. The Mongols' religious tolerance encouraged the coexistence of Christian, Muslim, and various Asian religions, leading to a melting pot of beliefs and practices that enriched the spiritual landscape of the continent. Art and literature flourished under the patronage of Mongol rulers, who were keen to commission works that blended Eastern and Western aesthetics, creating a unique cultural legacy that would define this alternate Europe for generations. Perhaps the most profound impact was on the intellectual movements that characterized the later centuries. In this alternate timeline, the Enlightenment emerged not only as a movement grounded in the rediscovery of classical philosophy, but as a fusion of Eastern and Western intellectual traditions. This divergent Enlightenment pushed the boundaries of science, philosophy, and governance, leading to early advances in democratic thought and scientific experimentation. The resultant technological and social progress catapulted Europe into a new age of exploration and discovery, driven by a desire to share its syncretic culture and technology with the rest of the world. On the global stage, the Mongol-led Europe developed differently. The colonization of the Americas and other parts of the world was approached not with a mindset of conquest and exploitation, but as an opportunity for mutual exchange and cooperation. This approach led to a more balanced development of global civilizations, avoiding many of the conflicts and disparities that have plagued our world. As we gaze upon this alternate tapestry of history, woven from the threads of what could have been, we are reminded of the fragility of our own timeline. The Mongol invasion of Europe in this imagined past reshaped not just a continent, but the entire course of human civilization, illustrating the profound impact of historical events on the evolution of global society. This speculative journey through an alternate history not only captivates our imagination, but also invites us to ponder the myriad possibilities that lie in the nexus of chance, choice, and change. This alternate history illuminates the interconnectedness of human civilizations and the unpredictable nature of progress. It challenges us to consider the consequences of conquest, not just in terms of immediate loss and gain, but in the potential for cross-cultural exchange and innovation. The scenario prompts us to question how different our world might have been with just a few twists of fate. Would we live in a more interconnected global society, or one even more fractured by the ambitions of empires past? We hope this episode has ignited your curiosity and offered a fresh perspective on the complex tapestry of history. As we part ways, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks for joining us on this exploration of what could have been. Your enthusiasm and support make these journeys through alternate histories possible. Now we turn to you, our viewers. What are your thoughts on this alternate scenario? How do you think a Mongol-dominated Europe would have shaped our modern world? Like, subscribe and comment below with your reflections, theories and suggestions for future episodes. Thank you for watching the Alternate History channel. Until our next adventure into the unknown, keep questioning, keep imagining, and keep exploring the vast expanse of history's untold stories.